but I just couldn't get it.
All right, 7:29.
Yeah, I got it.
So,
Yeah.
okay. You giving it a minute or?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got a notification.
Does that mean what?
Because he posted it, so I got a notification saying that I tagged myself in a post. We're just giving it a few minutes. Mm-hmm. Well, really, a few seconds.
Are we live?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
We just.
Yeah, sometimes I just wait a little, let people get on and then start. So, it's a couple more seconds, we'll be good. All right. Hey, Team DSF, this is your girl, Tanaya-Marcia Silhouette, and this is your Team DSF weekly business training, and I am really excited because I have one of my mentors who I reference a lot in my other trainings, Miss Gretchen Tresoris, who is the CEO of Fifth Gear Fitness, and she's actually my upline in my company. So I am really, really, really excited and happy to have you here.
Well, thank you.
All right. And so this week, what we're going to discuss is basically, what do you do when you feel like quitting? Have you ever felt overwhelmed and felt like quitting network marketing, quitting your company, quitting the business, and how do you get over those hurdles? So first, before we get into some tips and things like that, I want to know if you feel comfortable telling everyone a little bit about your story and your network marketing experience.
Sure. For those of you who don't know me, I'll go into just a little bit of detail. We're going to go back several years. When I was introduced to LifeVantage, I was at a junction in my life, my personal life. I was recently separated, and I was just negotiating my place on the planet at that point. And when my friend Lynette shared LifeVantage with me, I was not looking for any kind of opportunity. I wasn't looking for the product. I was just looking to find my place. So she was pretty persistent, and I was pretty resistant. And then soon her persistence won out, and I actually watched the ABC Primetime. And after getting some third-party validation from a couple of who are now elite distributors, I went to a meeting because I wasn't ready to do anything at that point. Mm-hmm. I did dive deep into the science. I found that extremely intriguing. And being a breast cancer survivor, and at that point, only 2 years from, 2.5 years out from my diagnosis, and about a full year out from the conclusion of my treatment, it was still very fresh. Mm-hmm. And I was still experiencing some of the side stuff that comes from chemotherapy and radiation. So I was intrigued with Protandim in a very big way, and I was extremely interested in the science, so I dug in deep. So I decided to become a distributor in December of 2009, and then we hit it. I felt like I was hitting it hard, but the fruits of my labor are not the same as the fruits of their labor. You see what I'm saying? I took a product approach because I was so passionate about it. Mm-hmm. And that's what drove me in the beginning. So anyway, my story is that in that first year, I remember hitting Pro 4 by the summer, and then stayed Pro 4 for a couple of years, I believe, and then hit Pro 5. I did attend the first Pro 5 summit, the very first one. Yeah, it's hot in here. And then hit Pro 6. I don't even remember. I think it was in 2012. I really don't recall the year, but it was something like that. Or maybe, I don't know. I think it was 2012. Or maybe 13. I really don't know. I can't remember it. And I remained at Pro 6 to this date. And there have been a lot of peaks, there have been a lot of valleys, and I think we're here to talk about some of the valleys.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's very interesting because your story is something that is very, obviously it's very personal to you and it's very emotional, and it sounds like for you, what intrigued you when you finally did take a look at the company that was presented to you, it was about the products.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but also you were going through a change in your life where the business could help with the separation and stuff like that. So did you find that like it was easier for you to push the products versus the opportunity because of your personal story with breast cancer, or were you just having issues with network marketing?
Oh, okay. No, I had zero issue with the product.
Okay.
I was all in with that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand business. I didn't understand me as a businesswoman.
Mm-hmm.
I'd always been an employee.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and when you're an employee, you follow their rules. You
Right.
don't set your own schedule. I mean, in personal training, yes, I did form my own schedule, and if I didn't want to train somebody at a particular time, I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But we did have to sell personal training, and it all went through the company, and I was paid a portion of whatever I sold. So I just didn't understand how I was as a businesswoman.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to do that.
So this was your first network marketing business.
This was my first business.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like, so that was like a huge leap for you
Heck
to go straight
yeah.
from employee to CEO.
Right. And I didn't consider myself a CEO. I thought I was just a distributor of this product. I didn't see myself as a businesswoman of this amazing product that was backed by this awesome company. I knew the verbiage, I knew the bullet points, but it didn't encompass me. I wasn't a full expression of that. I don't know if I'm making sense.
That actually makes a lot of sense, because I do think that a lot of us who don't have network marketing experience in the beginning might look at our new distributorship as another job and be expecting that extra, I don't want to say guidance, but that, I don't even want to say blueprint, but somebody to tell us exactly this is what you do, and then keep telling you this is what you do, and keep telling you, hey, today you're going to do this, and that's it. But what you said was interesting to me, because we are the CEOs of our own business, but you didn't yet see yourself as a CEO. Now, you've been doing this for a while now. Have you found that it's easier to be in this industry and to do your business now versus then, as far as like starting out?
Okay. Yeah, okay. When we first started, we were all starting from the same starting line. Brandon and Lynette had about as much of a clue as I did.
Mm-hmm.
They had a little bit more because they had more exposure to the people who came before them, like direct exposure. I was getting my education from them and then from the events. Do I feel that it's easier now than it was then? That's a tough one. Things have changed. We're not operating on the same system that we did when I first started. This has just been a complete evolution, and my word of advice, honestly, to everybody who's even looking at this is just stay in step with everything that's going on. Because if you, like Rip Van Winkle, if you close your eyes, 40 years could go by, I'm saying figuratively 40 years, and then you wake up and you're like, what in the world? So stay in touch, because I did make a mistake. I didn't adopt the technology when it was being introduced. I didn't dive in. I didn't bathe in it. I didn't let it become a tool that I could use. And I'm having to backpedal and catch up. Do you follow what I'm saying?
I do.
So do not get out of step for a second, or you're going to be running to catch up.
That's actually important to me too, because even with my short period of time, little over 2.5 years of doing this, when I first started, I really wasn't told to use my cell phone to text out information. And now we have a lot of apps, and a lot of companies these days are using technology more to help us build our business, more than when even I got in 2.5 years ago. So I can only imagine how the system might have been for you what, 6-7 years ago?
7 years ago.
7 years ago. So, I mean, now that but you also own a traditional business now.
Correct.
You have Fifth Gear Fitness, which is your gym in
Yes.
Brandon, Florida. So, and that's amazing. I always say congrats on that. So, do you find that owning a traditional business now, in addition to your network marketing business, has made it harder for you to focus on your network marketing business?
Yes and no. And I'm going to address the yes first. Yes, it is harder because the traditional business does take a lot of time and energy. But no, because the last distributor that I enrolled was Fifth Gear Fitness. So Fifth Gear Fitness is a distributor. So I cultivate LifeVantage within Fifth Gear Fitness. We have sample Saturdays where we're sampling Axio prior to the boot camp, and we sample the physique protein post boot camp on the particular Saturday, which happens to be the family and friends Saturday, where people are encouraged to bring family and friends to boot camp for free.
Okay.
So we're kind of increasing the exposure to the products. Now, that is not exposing the business, I know that, but most people who are at the gym are there to exercise and just treat their bodies better than they have in the past. They aren't there looking for a business opportunity. So the job is still the same, to find the people who are looking to change their financial future. But that isn't always exposed when we're doing a physical activity readiness questionnaire, okay?
Yeah.
Or when we're doing a fitness assessment and checking their overhead squat profile.
Yeah.
They don't tell us that they're looking for a new revenue stream when they're squatting. So that's a little tricky.
Yeah. But
So
it's
it becomes a more
appropriate.
product-centered exposure in the gym.
Yeah. But that's a good point, though, because in some other training, and I did reference you in that also, it's all about being genuine and finding the appropriate time to share the business to the person, so how it benefits them. So say you didn't have your network marketing company, you probably would be recommending other products.
Correct.
If this didn't exist. So you still are doing the business by sharing products.
Yes.
And maybe you can follow up with them later about the opportunity
Right.
if it fits them.
Yeah, and one thing that I keep present in the forefront of my mind is 100% of the people are not business owner material. Okay. Even within that top 20 percentile of people who say yes, there's still an even smaller percentage who actually work the business. So of the people we expose in the gym to product, there's just probably a very small percentage of people who are business minded or who see the potential, because we're still dealing with that same cross section of people.
Right.
That same
Right.
80-20 or 80-17-3 or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, I would think that you training these people is a good way to build relationships with them, build rapport, and get to know them to see if maybe this is something that they would be open to, because you're learning about their life and what's important to them. So, hey, I think that's doing the business.
It is, and it comes in time, but the
Yeah.
relationship building, it takes time.
Yeah, that's always an ongoing, like I said, connecting never ends. It's a lifelong process.
Yep.
So have you ever felt like you were doing more work than what you've seen results for with your network marketing business?
Yes.
Okay. How did you get over that feeling? Or
I would talk to my upline and they'd say, listen, what other plan do you have? what else could you be doing that's going to pay you whether you do anything or not?
so would you say like your upline is kind of like your
Psychologist?
yes,
Counselor? Yes.
she's mine. Yeah, and that's good. I mean, it is important that you always, what do you say, complain up, right, and encourage down. Yeah, so that's good. So you have, obviously, I know that you have a good relationship with your upline, and so they would put things into perspective, maybe remind you of your why and the big picture.
Yes.
Okay. Well, what would you say to other distributors who feel frustrated? Maybe they've been doing this, maybe even like for a short period of time, maybe just 6 months, or people like you who have had those ups and downs throughout the years. What would you say if they felt like quitting and they felt like it was more work than it's worth?
Okay. First of all, don't quit. Secondly, the first step to recovery is admitting it. Okay? I know it sounds like a 12-step program, right? But the first step to recovery is admitting that you're having the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Getting it out of your mouth and telling it to another human being.
Mm-hmm.
And let's sort through this. Because, okay, you can hear quitting is not an option. Okay, but sometimes it feels like you just really want to say, forget it. Or another word that begins with F. So, yeah, I say you got to get it out of your head, because in your head it's going to fester and create this cancer in your brain. Not literally, but just it's going to infect all of your thoughts with that negativity. Get it out. Talk to somebody who is having success and somebody who has a little compassion maybe. Or if that's not your style and you need a swift kick in the butt, and bring it out to somebody. And it doesn't have to be your upline. It could be somebody else, some friend you've made in Life Vantage who's doing it.
Someone who you know is going to tell you the truth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But be prepared for the truth.
That's true too, yeah. I mean,
you can't be a baby.
Yeah, sometimes we do complain, and then when they tell us the truth, we're not ready for it. And I've been there, where I've felt frustrated, and then coming to someone like you, who I know, like, she's a very great balance of compassion, but also gives me the kick in the butt I need, because I like that style, because I like to just get through all the fluff and find out what is wrong with me. And there's been many times where I've come to her and said, hey, this is crazy. I'm not getting any results. And sometimes most of the time I found out it's something that I'm missing out, or I'm doing wrong. I'm overlooking. And if I just change certain things about myself, maybe my invite, or maybe my follow-up, or maybe the amount of exposures that I'm doing, then I'd start to see more results. Or, because sometimes you could just be talking to the wrong people, or not enough people. Maybe it's not you. Maybe you're doing everything right and you're not seeing results because you're not talking to the right people. Like she said, everyone's not a business builder. And even the people that join your business aren't going to necessarily make you any money outside of that initial investment. So have you ever seen people maybe on your team, because you are a leader in this company, you're one of my leaders, have you seen somebody who was frustrated besides me and felt like that, and what did you see it before they saw it? Or
unfortunately, I'm not always that intuitive. So if you're going to come to me, you have to be that child who raises their hand and say, help me. I'm not always in tune with people who are just scribbling on their paper and not answering the questions. I mean, I am, but I'm not. The hard person in me just wants them to speak up and take ownership for where they are. And I'm not too terribly patient with the shy ones. So that's one of my defects.
That is a good point, though, because what I've found as I'm growing in this business, and what I've been taught by people like you and our leaders also, is that when we are doing our business, and we're also running a traditional business like Fifth Gear Fitness, and living our lives and spending time with our family, 80% of our time is on prospects. 80% of our time is dealing with new people that we want to bring into our business. And then the other 20% is dealing with our teams, especially if we're leaders in the company. And so if we don't speak up and say, hey, hello, I need some help, sometimes your leaders might overlook that because they don't see what's going on in your life. So it is important for you as a CEO of your own business to open your mouth and say, hey, something's wrong here. And it might be me, or it might be something else. Can you help me? So when you feel like quitting, I've learned this in the military too. say something first. If you want to quit, go ahead. But before you do, go through all your options first. And then hopefully quitting is not an option, you know? Because you might find that somebody like her has the answer that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say to a new distributor who maybe is like in their first 90 days and is just not getting it and is frustrated and they're looking for that instant gratification, or they're looking for some kind of something, some kind of movement, and they haven't found it yet?
Well, I would question if they've attended events to get that information, to get that inspiration. And then I would refer them to any of the number of videos, the video tools. And most recently we have 2 on hand, the how and the why for the Launch 60. I would plug into that sort of thing. And if you're not sure, just ask. But what has to be at the core is willingness. Because if you're not willing to make this thing happen, then no matter what tool or book or video or we give you, it's not going to matter, because you have to have willingness. You have to want this. So
it goes back to your why.
Yeah.
Is that what helped you when you felt frustrated sometimes? When did you have to go back, step back and think about, why am I doing this?
Yeah, and whys change all the time. My whys are now 19 and 16. They aren't the 7 years younger back then. Now we're in the present, and their whys are changing. You know, why are they here on this planet? You know, I've got a college student and a junior in high school. There's a lot of imminent stuff that has reshaped why I must continue to do this. Plus, I'm not a quitter, and I'm just determined.
I know that's right. So it sounds like your belief is there, and
yes,
and that's important.
Okay, and this is a good point, and I know we're running short on time. My belief in Life Vantage, and it was actually Brian Cerolian, when he said this at a training or at a meeting or something, it hit me right between the eyes. It was the bridge from belief to certainty. I can believe, and I do believe, but I am certain that our products are amazing. I am certain that our company is amazing. I am certain that we are going to reach 1 billion. My belief in myself is the place where I haven't become certain. And I suspect that most of us who are treading water are struggling with the belief in ourselves to become certain that we are going to get there. And that's that personal growth piece.
Yeah. And so how do you believe in yourself? What do you do? Do you have to read? Do you have to...
Yeah. Read, and this is reinforcing my belief in myself. You asking me to do this. Okay? And I've asked you, some of the leaders in my team, to host our Sunday call instead of it just being me. And that will help raise the level of certainty for all of us. And I think, the high tide rises all ships. Yeah, so we just have to create the swell among us. And I feel that we're on that right path.
So that's pretty cool. A leader in this company is also relying and using her team and her downline as leverage and reinforcing her belief. So it's a cycle, it's a collective effort. So that's pretty cool. So that's awesome. So if you're out there and you're feeling frustrated and you're wondering, can I do this? Just go back to your why. Like she said, remember why. Believe in yourself, first of all, and remember why you're doing this. Remember those people and those things that are important to you and why you got into this. So we're going to wrap up this training. I really want to thank you so much, Gretchen.
You're welcome.
This was awesome, and I'm learning always from her. So this is your girl, Tanaya-Marcia Silhouette, and our special guest, Miss Gretchen Tresaurus, CEO of Fifth Gear Fitness, keeping you in gear, and this is your Team DSF Weekly Business Training. Peace.
Peace.